I signed my first client for my agency 2 weeks ago. It is my father's business, which is a chauffeur service, and he needed a website for it. So I decided to help him, and these are what I learned from it. So let's go. This is my first ever time building a website for a business. I don't know anything. I don't know what to write for my copywriting. I don't really know how to optimize the layout. So that's why I use ChatGPT to know what information to include inside the website, so I know the rough plan for it. I also asked it to help me with the copywriting by giving me the paragraph for each sections. I then used the paragraph given to help me design each section of the website. As the information from ChatGPT is already in order, I just need to mix and match the layout section templates from a YouTube channel called The Website Architect. For example, for the services section of the website, it gave me 4 bullet points with short descriptions. Then I matched the information given to this layout from the Website Architect. It's that simple, I think. But as I get more skilled, I probably will not use this method as I would want to think more creatively. Lastly, I sketched the planned website on my notebook. As for the images and the resources regarding my client, the only thing that I asked for are services that they provide, pictures of the cars, testimonials, pictures that they wish to include. These are the things that ChatGPT and I can't provide though. But for the rest of the images, I have no choice but to use the stock images. For the programming of the website, I use HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Not much to talk about here. I programmed the website mobile first, which means programming the smaller screens first, then think of how to make it look nice on the wider screen. How I structured the code is by components. I have section of code for navbar, for the why ask section, for testimonials, etc. For the navigation bar, I just copy pasted the code from the previous project that I did. Then I changed the few codes to fit the website itself, but the functionality is still the same. Lastly, I decided that the margin from the edge of the content to the edge of the screen should be 16 pixels for mobile and 96 pixels for wider screens, based on research on Google, and it kinda works well for me. So these are the main things that I learned from the programming side. Building the overall website is not the difficult part, but it's the following two. Number 1, services section of the website, and number 2, the CTA. Let me explain. I wanted the services section to do what you see here. The user will scroll to see what services there are and then click on whichever service that they want. Then a pop-up with an image, a description, and a CTA will appear. I wanted to use HTML to code each service pop-up in there. Then use JavaScript to make the corresponding service to pop up when they click the service. But then I realized that it will take so much time to copy-paste the code of each services. So instead, what I did was to first create and style a temporary pop-up with placeholder image, text, and a CTA button. Then when the user clicked on the service they want, the temporary pop-up will appear. Now, here's why it's different. I then use JavaScript and make it so that it changes the image and the text based on what service is clicked. For example, let's say the user clicked on the first service. A unique function for the service will be activated to change the text and the image of that specific service. It saves so much time and space to do it this way. Now for the second difficulty, the CTA, the hard part was to finalize which CTA to implement. The first CTA was to let the user fill in the form in another page, and then the information will be emailed to the client. So I used a software called GoHighLevel to create a form and the email automation of the form. But guess what? It costed so much money to do just one thing. So after discussing with my father, I decided to scrap GoHighLevel and create a next CTA. For the next CTA, I decided to make the whole process that I just described on my own. But the main thing was that email was not his main form of communication with his own client. He don't really check his email often, so the last option is to bring the customers directly to him to where he used the most, which is WhatsApp. When the user click on the CTA, the customer will be brought to WhatsApp with pre-filled form in the chat box. All they have to do is to fill up the form and submit it. So simple. So I followed the instruction in the WhatsApp website to set up the pre-filled form, and tada! The CTA works. Learn the basics first, HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Then what I recommend you guys to do is to make a mock-up website. Ask ChatGPT for website ideas, then build it to gain more experience from it. For me, this website is not my first ever website that I created. I learned a lot from the previous website that I did, which is linked down don't know where. And when there is a repeating component like a navbar or the design of certain section of a website is similar, you can just copy paste from a previous project and just paste it in the current one so that you can save time and effort. And last but not least, use ChatGPT as much as possible. To fix the problem today is to use the tools that you have today. So yeah, these are what I learned from creating my first ever website for my agency. If you have more questions, you can ask them in the comments below. So anyways, that's my opinion. Bye.